Hey everyone, and welcome back to a week 3 update for an Indeed Starts a Garden. This week, not a whole lot that has changed. Had a few issues pop up, but I think we did all right solving them. First off, the seed trays that we were using just to get the seedling started, they just had terrible drainage. I don't know if it was just the seed trays or if it was also partly the soil potting mixture I was using, but it just retained way too much water. Even when the soil looked kind of dry on top, or completely dry on top, at the bottom, the soil was just completely soaked. So in order to try and save some of the seedlings that we were making, I went ahead and decided to just go ahead and repot everything into their own individual little pots for themselves, and hopefully they actually do look like they're doing a whole lot better. This tray I actually went ahead, that was done a couple days ago, about 3 or 4 days ago, and the rest of these were just done last night. So they didn't die overnight, and actually they're looking a lot better than they did just 24 hours ago. Also, the other main thing was the same thing, kind of a soil issue, was with these planters. Before we had 3 pepper plants in each one, so we had 2 of these planters. And again, I don't know if it's a drainage issue with the planter itself, or the soil mixture that I was using, or a combination of both. But again, it would be pretty dry. The soil would be dry from the top all the way, probably about an inch or an inch and a half down. But then everything at the bottom was just, again, completely soaking wet. You could actually, well, it rained last night, but so this is why this is so wet again. But yeah, it was even worse than that. I mean, you could grab a ball of dirt and then just squeeze out a ton of water. So to try and save the pepper plants, went ahead and threw this one back into another starter cup again, just to hopefully nurse it back to health a little bit. It's down to 1 leaf. And then the other one's over here, which was actually not looking too good either. It's really small and was just not growing at all. So I'm guessing all that wet soil was just stunting their growth, and they were probably dying off. The other ones, what I did was put them in their own individual pots. Right now they're in kind of small ones, but I'm gonna probably move them over to this area that I'm just dug out here. So we're gonna have 3 of them in the ground, and then 3 of them in pots, and I'm just gonna see which 3 do better. The only other change here at the main bed, at this smaller garden bed, is I changed the trellising. Before we just had the bunny playpen, the old bunny playpen, but these panels were flipped vertically, and it was just kind of strung along the back here. I didn't really think that, I think they were too far, I thought they were too far away from the plants, so I went ahead and moved them closer, and then flipped them just flipped each individual panel sideways, and then attached them to some regular garden stick things. And then I figure as the plants grow, I can just keep adding more panels to the trellising here. But the peas here and then the beans in back look like they're doing actually really, really well. They've grown quite a bit since last week. It took a while, a little bit longer than I thought, but the carrots are actually starting to come up here in this row. I haven't taken the time to actually thin any of this out yet. I know I need to do that. Plus I need to start weeding some of this other crap out of here. But the only other change on this bed is that I kind of completely gave up on the lettuce in this row. It was a complete failure, so I went ahead and pulled all that up and then redug it out and replanted it on Saturday. So this is all brand new lettuce seed. Plus, well, it's about lettuce to about here, and then we've got some dill, and then some I think it was chamomile that we also placed in there. But other than that, the strawberry plants are still doing really good. In fact, I'm gonna grab this one here and take it with us while we head down here. Throw this into a more sunny spot for right now. And then back over here is basically the same as before. The berry bushes are still doing all right. I just need to move those into a sunnier spot for right now. I was gonna dig up all this area, but there used to be a tree here, a huge pine tree, and then a lot of smaller trees, and there's just way too much stuff in here to dig out for this year. So I'll probably have that ready for next year if that's a new planting spot, because even though it's shady right now, within the next hour or half hour, it actually gets really sunny here and stays sunny through the day. Same like down here by the wood pile. So probably for this year at least, I think I'm just trying to get another raised bed and just throw it in this area. And probably do the same thing like with the pepper plants. Do 3 tomato plants in the ground and then 3 in a pot, and just see which 3 actually do better. And the other thing is that the berry bushes, I think this year they're just gonna stay in their pots, but then next year I'll put them in the ground. So we come over here, I did actually get a whole bunch of stuff into the garden. Now finally I got this area completely dug up. A little bit smaller than I wanted to, but this is just a small pile of what I had to pull out. I mean, whole area was just completely filled with roots from from the hedgerow and a small tree that's over here. But the actual garden spot is actually looking pretty good. The melon plants are looking really nice. Those are bean plants over there, I believe. This is the problem I had is a lot of the seedlings I started with, I didn't mark. So now it's just kind of waiting for them to get a little bit old, grow a little bit more. So it'll be easier to identify what we have. So basically from this row all the way to the fence now is kind of a mystery vegetable plant. And hopefully we'll be able to figure out exactly what we have pretty quickly. I know what we planted, just don't know which cups they were in because I didn't label them. So there's watermelon, cantaloupe, pumpkin, I want to say eggplant, some beans and peas probably that got mixed in there. So there's probably more extra plants down here, but there's also some radishes in the corner down there. A little bit more, the rest of the lettuce seed I had, I also threw in there. And then over here is this small line right here, just basically green onions that I just planted yesterday. The 4 rows right here that have nothing in it right now is actually replanted corn. The first day I set this all up and got everything transplanted in here, a squirrel came and attacked overnight and destroyed every single corn plant that was in here. There was about 27 or 28 corn plants that were little shoots that were coming through the dirt. But overnight a squirrel came in and destroyed it. That was before I had the fence put up. So the next day I went ahead and bought a bunch of chicken wire and just some fence posts and just put up a small kind of crappy fence around the whole thing, and so far it's been keeping them out. But I did kind of pull everything slightly tight, more tight on the bottom than on the top, so it's actually not that easy to get underneath. So hopefully this works out and we have defeated our squirrel nemesis finally. I guess the last thing is over here. We just have the cucumber trellis. They are all starting to really come up out of the ground now, so that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna probably replace the trellis and do pretty much the same thing I was doing with up at the other garden bed, kind of with the fencing and then the just the regular garden posts. But yeah, then I also had more. I think this is the P1. But yeah, I had extra seeds, so I just threw them in here too. So I'm gonna need another trellis thing for this row. But I'm gonna probably rethink the whole trellis on this raised bed. Just haven't figured out what I'm gonna do yet. Oh, the other thing I was gonna mention is obviously once the melon plants start to grow even more and start vining out, we're gonna have to move this fence and or at least help the vine underneath the fence so it's not just confined in here. But I also might build a trellising system in here too, and do some of these as vertical vines, and then some of them just let them sprawl out around the yard and see which ones do better. Other than that, not much else has really gone on. I did add some sunflowers to the front of the house. in a really sunny spot, but I just planted those yesterday, so there's no really point going to check that out yet. But yeah, if anyone has any more advice or or anything, feel free to put that in the comments below. And I guess we'll see you next week with another update. Hopefully everything starts growing a bit more, and the severe weather we have coming in possibly tomorrow doesn't come through and just destroy all of our work. All right, have a good day. Thanks. Bye.